Hey mama, it's Jocelyn. Welcome to the podcast. I'm a fellow mom of 5 and I am here today to share with you some encouragement, especially during that tough time in the first trimester when you are struggling and you feel like you can't do it. It's not easy to be in a good mental headspace, and I want to encourage you today when being in that negative mental headspace can be really tough. So let's jump into the episode. Hi, I'm Jocelyn, host of the Positive in Pregnancy and Motherhood podcast. I help pregnant women and mothers to find positivity in their season of life through changing their thoughts to work for them and not against them. I help mothers find the small, doable steps in thought and action without making drastic changes to their everyday mom life, and I can help you. Thanks for joining. I want to try and give you a few tips today that have helped me in my pregnancies to get rid of some of the heavy frustrations and annoyances that come when you are in that first trimester. This can apply to other phases of pregnancy, but the first trimester is who I seem to attract a lot of people from because that trimester is so hard. And as I mentioned in the intro, it can be really hard to find a good mental headspace because you are in a lot of pain, or you don't feel good, you're nauseous, you don't feel like yourself. You don't feel up to going anywhere or doing anything. And I want to give you some tips on how to work out of those frustrations. It's intentional work, and it is going to take you realizing that it's intentional work. It just doesn't come naturally to do these things. You do have to remind yourself. But I'm here to tell you that if I could find some sense of positivity in pregnancy when I absolutely loathed it, I hated it so much, you can do it too. These things in this podcast helped me so much, and because of their because of the mindset tools that I implemented and used, I have been able to have 5 kids, and I thought I was only going to have 2. So that is my little testimony and blurb right at the front. Before we get into these, I'm going to specifically talk about 3 things you can do to get rid of, or to start getting rid of, some of those heavy frustrations and annoyances. The first is to give yourself grace. You might have gone into pregnancy thinking that you could do it, that you could still do it all, that this pregnancy was going to be different, that it was going to be better, that if you just ate healthier, you wouldn't get so sick, and that you would be able to deal with the nausea better. Or if this is your first pregnancy, maybe you're not knowing that it was going to knock you off your feet so hard, and you were feeling pretty motivated, but now you're realizing that this is tough. Give yourself grace. And what I mean by give yourself grace is be okay with not getting everything done that you used to be able to do. And giving yourself grace is being okay that you're not doing that, that you're not able to get all of those things done. So give yourself some grace, because as we feel guilt, that makes the load of these frustrations and annoyances of being sick, of not being able to do what we want to do, feel even more heavy and even more debilitating. But as you get okay in your mind with letting some of these things go, you will be surprised about how much lighter your load can feel. How much lighter your heart can feel, and also how much lighter you just feel. Like it's almost a physical sensation when you are able to free yourself of some of these things. So I wanted to give you a quick example before we go on to the next tip. Let's say you've got a mental list going of things you really would like to get done. Maybe on your mental list, you've got that you'd like to mop the floor because it's gotten pretty gross and sticky over the time that you've been sick. Let's say you're running out of groceries and you really need to make a list or do some type of pickup on your phone or prep for a pickup. And let's say that your kids are growing out of their clothes and you know that it's in the back of your mind on this mental list that you need to exchange some of those kids' clothes out. Now, if you don't have older kids, you can put any other thing mentally on that list, because we as women tend to have mental lists all the time. So what I want you to do is give yourself some grace. Realize that all three of those things probably aren't going to happen today, but you can get to the most important one. So you may not get to mopping your floor. You may not get to changing out your kids' clothes, but you really need to put together that list of food to get for your family. That is something that needs to get done, and the other things can be let go. Whereas if you are feeling good, you could do all three of those things very easily. But in this season, you might have to just do one of those things a day, and give yourself grace. Be okay with it that you're not getting to it. Something that we forget about pregnancy when we're in the midst of this annoying, frustrating, aggravating sick phase is that it does pass. It will come to an end, and you will be able to do those things again. And this is just, even though it doesn't seem short, it is a short season, and you can do it better by giving yourself grace. The next tip that I wanted to share with you is to listen to something encouraging. We are living in a world where the news is sharing a lot of negative things. There are a lot of hard things going on in the world. A lot of fighting, a lot of upheaval, a lot of disagreements. There's natural disasters. And besides all the negative things that it seems like pregnancy can bring to you, I want you to shift away from all that negativity and listen to something encouraging. I encourage you to do that through a podcast, through music, or through an audiobook. I do try to make this podcast encouraging, so go back and title search some episodes of stuff that appeals to you, that you're like, oh yes, I need help with that, I'll listen to that one. Or ask around for positive audiobooks. Sometimes not even self-help, just some type of fun book that gets your mind off of the heavy. We need to get our minds away from focusing on all the heavy things, because it weighs us down and it makes us negative, and it makes us hate pregnancy even more if we're already not liking it. But we are trying to find positivity in pregnancy, and I found that as I focused on different things, it really helped me to work with my mind better. I've mentioned this on multiple episodes, but this last pregnancy, we listened to the Little House on the Prairie audiobooks, and that was such a great distraction and such an encouraging thing, also inspiring thing for me as a mother to listen to. Not only did my kids like hearing Laura's story, but I liked hearing about what Laura's mom did in those stories, and how I could possibly be a better mom, and more encouraging in teaching my children. And I just was very inspired. So listen to something encouraging. That is the second tip. The third tip is really easy, but it is also so easy to forget. I'll be honest, even though I'm not currently pregnant right now, even I forget this tip, and it is so basic and easy. Sometimes that mental list gets long for us as women, and we can feel that we're not doing good enough, that we're not there doing all the things that we wish we could do. And this tip is to smile. It can feel so heavy and debilitating, frustrating. I know I've said those words like 5 times, but those are often how I felt at times, until I realized that I needed to do some of these things to shift. And one of the things that helped me to shift was to smile. It was either to smile at something my kids did, allow myself to smile at them. It was to allow myself to smile at a funny YouTube video. It was to allow myself to smile at a mistake. And it was to allow myself to smile at myself when I looked in the mirror. It sounds weird and it might sound a little cheesy, but it does help to smile. So next time you walk by a mirror, or you hear something funny, or your kids do something silly that normally you'd roll your eyes at, just allow yourself to smile. I know that sometimes you need extra help. I needed extra help. I craved for some positive encouragement during pregnancies. And so when I was pregnant with my fourth baby, I had previously wrote a bunch of ideas for encouragement, and I tried them. And I filmed a lot of these videos during that fourth baby and a little bit after that fourth baby. And for my fifth baby, I had to take my own course. I needed that extra help in what that course offers. So that course is called the Morning Sickness Mini Course for Mental Health. It's powerful. They are similar to what is in my podcast, but they're in video format so you can see my face. And I do have downloadable audios that you can download to have and listen to whenever you need to. They are also short. They are anywhere from 2 to 8 minutes long so that you can fit it in when you need to. As a mom, I know that it's not always easy to fit long things in. And when you're sick and pregnant, sometimes your attention span is just even less because you're just so sick of it all. But these videos can help you. They are so powerful, and they can help you get out of this mental misery to do the things that I shared with in the podcast, but on a more consistent, on a shorter and more, easier, that's probably the word I was looking for, an easier time frame. So if that interests you, that is the top link in the show notes. It'll take you to my website, or there's the direct link. You can get more information on that. There are 44 videos in that course. My idea with the course was to have a different video for every day of the sick phase. For most women, or average, I guess, air quotes, the sickness lasts around 6 weeks. And so that's why I have 44 videos, because 7 days in a week, 6 weeks long, that's 42 videos plus a couple extra for the intro and the exit videos. So there are enough videos for you to pick from for that whole sick trimester, but they're also good videos that will relate to the rest of your pregnancy as well. Give that a try if you have liked this podcast. I wanted to do a quick summary of what was in today's episode. The first tip was to give yourself grace. The second tip was to listen to something encouraging, whether it be music with good lyrics. You do have to make sure there's good lyrics. I don't think I said that. An encouraging podcast or an audiobook. And the last tip was to smile. You got this, Mama. I know how hard it is. I know how frustrating it can be and how annoying it can feel to feel so sick. But you can do this. And at the end, you get such an amazing gift. You get a little baby of your own to cuddle, to hold, to take care of, and to be a mom to. It's pretty powerful. And your striving to be positive during this time of pregnancy will help you so much. I know it has helped me, and it can help you too. Until next time. Thank you for being a part of the Positive in Pregnancy and Motherhood podcast, for listening, for sharing, and most of all, for applying these tools into your own life to improve your own happiness so that you can find your own better thoughts for a better you in a positive pregnancy, in losing that stubborn baby weight, and becoming the mom you desire to be through taking small steps in thought and action to reach your goals. If you are a mother who has an inner desire to enjoy motherhood and pregnancy better, but you are having difficulty figuring it out, I can help you. I can help you find the small, doable steps without drastic changes to your everyday mom life. Reach out, let's connect, and let's see you move forward. My name is Jocelyn, and I thank you for listening. Until next time.